Okay, so trash is something that nobody wants to think about. Everybody has, but not any one person has a real solution for. My opponent believes that incineration, or burning trash, is a better, more effective alternative than landfills, which is what we use now. She uses these arguments to help guide her claim. 1, destruction of waste is quick. 2, energy can be recovered from waste. And 3, incineration destroys harmful chemical compounds. Now let's take a closer look. We all know the expression, out of sight, out of mind, right? So does that mean if we burn our trash, we don't have to see it, we don't have to worry about it either? Wrong. Incinerators produce a variety of toxic discharges to the air, water, and the ground that are significant sources of a range of powerful pollutants, including dioxin and other chlorinated organic compounds that are well known for their toxic impacts on human health and the environment. The EPA, or Environmental Protection Agency, states that there are more than 210 different dioxin compounds, plus mercury, cadmium, nitrous oxide, hydrogen chloride, sulfuric acid, fluorides, and particulate matter small enough to lodge permanently in the lungs. Many of these toxins enter the food supply and concentrate up through the food chain. In addition to air and water emissions, incinerators create toxic ash or slag that must then be landfilled. This ash contains heavy metals, dioxins, and other pollutants, making it too toxic to reuse. Incinerators emit significant quantities of direct greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide, that contribute to global climate change. For my opponent's second argument, energy can be recovered from waste. Yes, that is true. Energy can be recovered from just about anything if it's used correctly. However, there are currently hundreds of proposals to build incinerators in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and elsewhere. People selling waste-to-energy incinerators claim that generating energy by burning trash is a win-win solution to our waste and energy crisis. The GAIA, or Global Alliance for Incineration Alternative, claims that incinerators actually waste energy. When burning materials that could be reused, recycled, or composted, incinerators destroy the energy-saving potential of putting those materials to better use. Recycling, or landfills, for instance, save 3 to 5 times the energy that waste incinerator power plants generate. Incinerators are also net energy losers when they embody the energy of the burned materials taken into account. For these reasons, waste-to-energy plants would more aptly be named waste-of-energy plants. And for my opponent's third claim, incinerators destroy harmful chemical compounds, the EPA states in a study in 2006 that incinerators are also large sources of indirect greenhouse gases, including carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, non-methane volatile organic compounds, and sulfur dioxide. In fact, incinerators emit more CO2 per megawatt hour than any fossil fuel-based power source, including coal-fired power plants, according to the GAIA. So in the argument that disposal of waste is quick, think about it in the long-term effects of far more chemicals are produced than in landfills. And the claim that energy can be recovered from waste, all of this is true, more energy is recovered through landfills. And the last claim, which says incineration destroys harmful chemical compounds, is invalid because far more harmful chemical compounds are created. All in all, I think landfills are fine as is, and if we are looking for alternative methods to trash disposal, that is great, but incineration is not more effective.
All right, well, all the structural stuff is fine. The main issues that I have are that there's an absence of discussion of the grounds in the warrant used by the advocate, and in essence, you're relying on counterclaims on all of the points. And they're good counterclaims. You develop good evidence on each of those points. But it seems to me, I recall, and I can't remember clearly enough, that there were a couple of points where the advocate talked about some of the issues that you raised. For instance, the CO2 and the greenhouse gases. And And without being able to hear them back to back, it's a little bit hard to compare what the advocate said about those gases and what you're saying about those gases. Now, you've developed a counterclaim that I think is pretty clear, but without acknowledging the argument that the advocate presented in responding to their claims specifically, I think that you miss an opportunity to make those arguments as strong as they could possibly be. I thought you had good evidence on the claims that you developed, and explanations about most of those positions were fine. It did seem on the second point that there was an implication that the people who are advocating these waste-to-energy kinds of proposals I mean, you didn't say that they were biased, but it seemed to be implied that because they're selling the idea that they are in fact advocating something primarily for their own motives as opposed to something that's going to be beneficial in the long run. And I think this idea about recycling presupposes that the material in landfills is going to get recycled, and there's not really much demonstration of that. Both of them sound like they're potential ways of solving the problem of landfills, but neither one of them is shown to either, how competitive they are, the economic viability in them. I think that's where you need to do a little bit more conclusion there, because if the stuff's not being recycled, then why is burning it such a bad idea? If it's just being put into the landfills, then both of, that's wasteful too, and then the argument about incineration seems to have some merit to it. All right, thank you.